Well, this is our pet cemetery, which has been in the family for centuries. And it's within our grounds, obviously. That one, of course, was our Chin-Chin, absolutely wonderful childhood pet, peacock, huge bright cock, gloriously colourful, majestic thing. Sadly, he died, and I was left with a rather drab little peahen, which I do feel has set something of a pattern. This, of course, is Geoffrey's plot, and I like to come out here just to spend some quality time with him. I mean, I always knew with Geoffrey that he was very much the one, but I think what really clinched it for me was that first kiss. Had these wonderfully large, very red lips, quite bulbous, I think one would almost say, a particularly big tongue. I mean, he was medically a giant, and I'll never forget how it used to probe into my mouth and really search my mouth. You know, one would feel that it was actually quite forceful.
Well, I mean, Geoffrey really was rather good at everything that he did. I mean, that was the thing about him, is that he was an achiever, and he was captain at all sorts of sports. And I suppose kissing was no different. I mean, I never experienced the kiss myself. Click! The vaginismus. Sometimes when the muscles contract, Flick will get depleted. The blood sugar will go down. It's a form of diabetes, isn't it, darling? It's all right. There, come on, I've got you.
Today. Please don't pour me, darling.
It's all right.
Please don't pour me, darling. Thank you.
I mean, he was originally buried near Lake Windermere at the wish of his parents.
Which I thought was really rather selfish, but shortly afterwards we began legal proceedings and had his body exhumed and brought back here.
He's actually buried straight down into the ground, like that, wearing his riding outfit, perfectly erect.
How I like to remember him. I think when one truly loves somebody, to let go of them would be wrong. And if you think about my condition as well, on top of all that, if you couple the grief with a very, very tight, you know, there's not much room for Peter. I shall be buried next to Geoffrey. I shall be curved around him, very much like a banana, which was one of our very favourite positions, Geoffrey and myself.
Shall be just the other
we had
side,
a certain language really between
just
us.
Fitting in
language of love.
Before
Darling,
the
I'm talking.
perimeter fence.
And Peter, as we have discussed.
Well, I shall be able
Peter,
to just
as we
reach
have
out.
discussed, will be down there between Sergeant Potter and Rachel.
Sergeant Potter was my guinea pig.
We have talked about it.
Quite fitting for me because I'm, of course, something of a pig and not worth a guinea.
Why don't you go down, Peter, and try out the plot?
But in all seriousness, I shall rest with...
Peter, why don't you go down and try out the plot?
With Flick and with
Peter!
I think it's abundantly clear that I'm not entirely right. But as they've all told me, there's no reason that I can't, you know, really make a crack at life. Because I have so many positive things in my life. Flick, the house, the job, Helen the dog, Nana. But why should something like that, you know, affect me? And it doesn't. It's only really in quiet moments when I'm on my own, or perhaps in company, that it might rear its ugly head.
And hunch. Pet hawk.
Feels far. Does it look far?
I mean, the other option, of course, is cremation.